Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. Monday evening live stream. What is this? Good evening. Yeah, it's already dark. You know, it gets dark at like 7:30 now. It's dark very, very early. How was your birthday? My birthday was fine. Another year. Another year. Government shutdown. Who really cares? I mean, it's like it shuts down for a day and then it opens up. It's the most useless headline ever. Oh, the government gets shut down for a day. Ugh. What does it even affect, honestly? Thoughts on Bad Bunny for halftime show? I don't know who that is. It looks like a Mexican transvestite, I think. So it's typical. But they say it's a global thing. That's what the NFL's trying to do. They're trying to go to all these different countries, and so they bring in this person who doesn't even speak English. I don't know. Who knows? The NFL is a terrible product, even without all the liberal stuff that they put into it over the past 5 or 6 years. Have you seen the new humanoid robot? It's crazy. No, I haven't. Yeah, we'll talk about I guess, the Israel stuff. I don't know. I mean, if Israel's already agreed to this, you would imagine this is probably pretty beneficial to them. I guess we'll see what Hamas says. But Israel is at the point now to where, if Trump has said if Hamas doesn't agree, it's basically going to allow Israel to go in and clean house. So really, I mean, you look at this deal, and I guess it looks decent for Israel. We're going to have to see, though, how this works. Or I guess it looks decent for Palestine because they stay in Gaza. But I don't know. I think people are going to be very wary of it. Thoughts on Bad Bunny? I mean, I don't care, honestly. I don't know. It's like a Mexican. They don't even speak English, or it's like a cross-dresser Mexican. I don't know. I never seen this person. I don't listen to their music. People said it was going to be Taylor Swift. Could you imagine that? That might have been the only thing worse. That might have been the only thing worse because people said it was Taylor Swift. How's the Trump economy going? Any updates? Well, we'll get more updates with quarter three for sure in October. Or no, quarter three. I think it's a 3.5% GDP growth rate. You like the streams and live in a city next to Portland and you're a Republican Trump supporter? Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some riots going on there. It looks like they're trying to deport people. I just don't understand. You would think they would be able to. If people impede ICE, I mean, that is obstruction. They are trying to do their jobs. They're trying to deport people. That's what we voted for. That's what democracy looks like. We voted for Trump to deport illegal immigrants, so ICE has to go in and physically deport illegal immigrants. You can't obstruct it. You're going to be arrested. If you obstruct it, you're getting arrested. Democracy says we voted for ICE to physically go in and remove illegal immigrants from the US population. That's what was voted for. I don't understand what these people now they make it like it's this dramatic event, like, oh, ICE is terrible, they're evil. This is what was voted for. This is what Trump said he was going to do. He said he was going to deport illegal immigrants. So what is the problem here? And by the way, they're down on their numbers. I mean, there's people saying they haven't deported nearly enough. You don't think Hamas cares if they live or die, so the threat of Israel taking them out won't frighten them. You're super surprised Israel gave them amnesty. Yeah, that's why you wonder if there's something else at play here with Israel. Because why would Israel agree to that? You have to think about, you know, you have to think about other things in terms of why would Israel agree to this if it allows the Palestinians to stay in Gaza if the entire point of getting revenge for October 7th was completely destroying all. I mean, I guess it's a good deal because it's like it completely eliminates Hamas, but the Palestinians stay. I don't know, man. It's an unsolvable situation. It really is, no matter what they end up doing. Yeah, everyone says it's the constitutional republic, but a general election. I mean, obviously that's because of electoral votes, but I think you're parsing words. You're parsing words there. Let's be honest. Electoral votes, really. I mean, I guess it's not a complete popular vote, but thoughts on Don Lemon going on a racist rant? I didn't. I think I saw that. I think he's honestly jealous of white men. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. That's what it's. It seems like there's a lot of jealousy there. And if you want to compare crime rates, you really don't want to do that. Really, in any age, in any income bracket, you don't want to compare crime rates between races. It's not going to end well for Don Lemon. Let's just say that. Imagine if they picked Kanye. Yeah, that would be. Imagine the outrage, dude. Uh, please don't group the bunny with Mexicans. He's Puerto Rican, so he's technically American. Did you see Ben Johnson own that reporter? No, I didn't see that. The new Chicago coach, I didn't see that. Do you think Jack Citarelli will win New Jersey governor? I think he has a chance. I think that's the one that they really need to go for. Virginia looks a lot worse than New Jersey, from what I've seen. But there was another Republican pollster that has Citarelli down too. It's not a great sign. It's not a great sign. Not terrible, though. They're still over a month away. I know people are going to be talking about that. How do you feel about Kamala returning on camera about her post-election, her thoughts post-election, and having constant reminder the thing? Well, I mean, she's obviously trying to shill her book. She's grifting for her book, so she's gonna come out and apparently she said a lot of disparaging things about other Democrats in the book. I don't know. I mean, Kamala is done politically. She could have tried to run in California for governor. She decided not to. I think she's done. She might try and run in 2028, but right now she said she's not going to do it. If she does, she's not going to get far. If she tries to run in the Democratic primaries. Did you see the Kirk letter to Bibi? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it did definitely seem like Kirk was very pro-Israel. I mean, he was trying to formulate strategies. Kirk had to have known. I mean, he was too tapped in. So many young people, all of Gen Z, hated Israel, and they still do. And Kirk knew that, and he was trying to find ways to remedy it. So he was sending, Netanyahu letters talking about a strategy. I mean, they had that struggle session about Israel. Kirk did with some of his supporters and some of his top people. They filmed the video of like a summoning circle, the circle, and it's like all these kids are around and they're talking like, well, why don't you like Israel and all this? And so that letter doesn't really surprise me. If 1 million deportations is possible, 12 years of Republican presidency with Vance would do wonders for the cost of living in the country. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, they haven't done 1 million deportations. They got self deportations. But the thing is, with self deportations, they're going to dissipate. Because the self deportations, I really think, are only going to. Like, you're going to have a bunch of self deportations right after Trump wins, and then they're going to dissipate as the time goes on. You're going to have to more rely on the physical deportations, I think. So they're going to have to up their numbers, obviously, if they say they have 400K in 9 months, which I think people expect them to because they're getting more funding. If you saw the video that came out where Kirk directly called it what it was, ethnic cleansing, you wouldn't be saying that. Oh my God, bro. I've seen the video. Like everyone's seen it 5 billion times. We're still going with Israel killed Kirk. That was so yesterday, bro. Come on, come with something new. Tyreek broke his ankle or leg really bad. It snapped in half. Just happened. It was gruesome. The Dolphins are screwed, man. They're in general, but with the no, yeah, they're screwed. Did you see the church shooting, the Mormon church shooting? Yeah, I saw it in I think Minnesota. Trump got paid by YouTube. Yeah, Trump sued YouTube for 24 million and Trump sued YouTube for 24 million, or I guess that's what they settled on, 24 million, because he got banned from YouTube. And a lot of this big tech is just they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the executive branch, so they're going to try and settle with Trump. ICE arrested illegal alien. 24.5 million. But every raid scares more people not caught in area to self-deport. Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but it's still not as much as like the initial surge, because people, that's when the initial scare happens. If you're an illegal immigrant and you don't self-deport after a year, you're probably not going to self-deport after 2 years. It's just that's how it works. But I think there'll still be self-deportations, but just not to the same level that there have been. And who knows if they're telling the truth about that. 1.6 million seems like a lot of self-deportations. The administration might be juicing those numbers. How do we trust those numbers? It's hard to even say, because a lot of the self deportations just happen, and then it's like, well, how do you track it? I mean, sometimes they get paid, I guess, to self deport, and you can track it that way, because they'll offer like $1 million for somebody to self deport. Candace looking more and more like a grifter. Well, with the letter. Yeah, I just think she gets hot. She has such a massive fan base. So she gets encouragement to go through all those theories, and they say she's right, and she's like this modern day truth teller who is the only one that's being honest with people. And it's like contamination. It feeds her ego, and it's a big problem because she gets a ton of views for that stuff. She gets encouragement. It's like encouragement for doing something that is just not, it's not good behavior. But then it's like, oh, you're just an Israel shill. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. It honestly delegitimizes a lot of those people and what their critiques of Israel, because they say everything is Israel's fault. Does Eric Adams drop out? He already did drop out. Thoughts on the tie? 40-40. Yeah, 40-40 tie. I'll say that's pretty nice. I like that. 40-40. I don't mind NFL ties. People hate them, but they're so rare. It's actually not a. I mean, it is kind of tough to see with a record if you have a tie. It's pretty brutal. I do think they're probably going to get rid of the tie. By the way, probably I don't know when they could get rid of it after this season. The regular season tie, they could very easily get rid of it. You have to play the new Trump video. It's great. Which one is it? Is it on here? What is it, like a meme video? I'm guessing. Israel stole the land. Where have I heard that before? Stolen land. That's interesting. Now, it's not the same thing, I know, but it's just funny. What if a tie happens in the Super Bowl? They have different rules for the playoffs, brother. They have different rules for the playoffs. Still can't believe Guardians won the division with a -6 run differential. That division is so horrible, dude. The AL Central, it's so terrible. It's like the worst division in sports, honestly. The AL Central, MLB AL Central. I think they're gonna lose to the Tigers. You look at the Tigers pitching staff, man. I mean, but the Tigers they collapsed, but they can play better in the playoffs. Can Oregon beat Ohio State? Sure, they could beat Ohio State, but that doesn't even they don't even face Ohio State until if they might face them in the Big Ten championship. They don't face them in the regular season, so it's like it would be a while. Mariners gonna win it all. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me with the way MLB's going this year. The Mariners, but it also wouldn't shock me if the Mariners lay an egg in the playoffs. It's just how the MLB playoffs are. Why does anyone even watch the NFL anymore if it's only getting more woke? Well, the NFL it's got the whole diversity initiative. It's not as woke as the NBA, I will say that. But they have the whole diversity initiative. They are definitely heavy. They say a lot of the players are conservative. I don't think that's true. I think it's liberal. The NFL is like a liberal product. It's just turned into and it's just turned into it's just terrible. Like you watch these quarterbacks, it's horrible. It's a really bad product. And a lot of these fans like coping and saying, "Well, the defenses are actually have they gotten better?" No, no, they haven't. The defense has not gotten better. When you have Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers is still playing, but he's washed. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. When all these quarterbacks retire, they're not able to replace them with quarterbacks that are as good. That's simply what's happened. The quality of the most important position has gone down significantly. The product is significantly worse. And now all these dumbass fans are coping and they're like, well, it's still good. It's just the defenses are great now. Yeah, no. No, 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 no. That's just pure cope. This product is terrible. It's been horrible for like 5 years. It's been terrible. Yeah, but at one point yeah, but at this point you expect the NBA to be extremely left and gay nowadays. Yeah, the NBA is like is communist left wing. That doesn't make any sense because they're all. I mean, honestly though, that's kind of what it is. It's like socialist left wing, but they're all millionaires somehow. Like imagine that. It's like this just slop cesspool telling all their fans to be like socialist while they're millionaires. Like the NBA is the problem with the NBA though from a general sense is there's too much scoring. If you want to know. I mean, taking politics out of it, there's just too much scoring in the NBA. They have to do something to alleviate the scoring. You got to be able to hip check. You got to be able to do something. There's too much scoring. It's all every game's 140 to 130. Is the U.S. stolen land argument valid? Absolutely not. That was mocking the saying Israel stole the land, but it is different. It is fundamentally different for sure. But it was just funny to see somebody say that. It's like the verbatim argument that hardcore libs use about whites from the 1600s. NBA Reddit is a left wing hellhole. It's like the fucking the seven stages of hell. NBA Reddit. I can only imagine. Even any of those or subreddits are probably bad, but NBA, oof. White people subreddit. Oh, it's called like white people Twitter. Oh, that's bad. Omar needs to be deported. Yeah, I mean that would, but it's like they're not going to do it. Imagine they actually did it, but I don't know. Mhm. How does someone like her get into position in the first place? White liberals and a bunch of Somalians moving to the area in which she gets elected, the district in which she gets elected. That's how it happens. They all move in flocks and then they elect one of their own. And white liberals submit to it as like a humiliation ritual for the past horrors that supposedly whites have inflicted, and so it's a humiliation thing, and it's a guilt. It all is the guilt. It's the internal guilt, the post World War II era. Pritzker. Well, we'll see if there's a Pritzker clip here. Yeah, what was this? Somebody scaled the White House complex fence and got caught. A German? Sports is used to distract you from real issues. Oh man, not the Roman cliche. The Roman cliche. I mean, in a sense, but there is an issue with all the populace being 100% political. There's been theories on it. If the populace is 100% political, the society becomes miserable. You should look that up. It's interesting. Thoughts on Groyper coins? Yeah, the one on Ethereum. I'm not in any of them. The one on Ethereum, I think, is the only one. The other ones are like, I don't know. They're just copies. I don't like the Solana coins in general. You have never heard anyone blame everything on Israel, and Israel picks fights it shouldn't. You didn't vote for a Jewish state first. You voted for America first. Thanks for showing your true colors. Well, I don't even know what you're like an emotional woman. I mean, what did I even say that you're angry about? Like, really, dude? You're gonna write me an essay about like in a cryptic format? Crypto rising. Yeah, no, you're crypto. You see what Eric Trump said about it. I mean, they think a lot of the Trumps love crypto. They made some money off it, but crypto is going to be really good quarter four. It's about to happen. You just did the political compass quiz and it said you were a liberal. Yeah. It always says I'm a socialist, so no, I'm kidding. It says I'm authoritarian right. It says I'm libertarian right. If blue state governors, senators, and mayors signed with Antifa rioters, wouldn't that literally be insurrection? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they don't just arrest a bunch of them one night. Wouldn't they stop? If you just arrest all of them, they'd stop. What's the problem? If they've already been labeled a terrorist group, listen, this is what it is. You can't obstruct ICE and let alone assault ICE from doing their job. So why don't they just arrest people that do that? What's the issue? It's obvious we voted for deportations, so they have to go and physically deport people. That's what they're doing. What's the problem here? I still have yet. Has somebody tell me the problem? ICE has to go physically remove the people. The people don't want to leave. They're here illegally. Trump said he was going to deport all illegals. Obviously, they're not going to be able to deport all illegals. They're not even going to be able to do that. We can't even deport 1 million. Yet they're still pissy about this, and they're going to start fighting over the fact that we voted for illegals to be removed. Do you see the video Trump posted on his X account? He normally never posts video. Well, it's probably a meme video or something, if I had to guess. From the desk of Charlie Kirk. When was this date? When was this sent? What date? So not too long ago. May. It is a meme video, yeah.
We just had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's...
If I turned on TTS, you'd give a lot more money. I did have TTS on. What happened is I had TTS on for like a few weeks, and then the Charlie Kirk assassination happened. I turned it off, and then I never turned it back on.
Whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them. Let's talk about them. Let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there. Now, we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now, I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American health care policy is broken. Well, we know that American health care policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American health care is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American health care policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because...
Yeah, I want to see some of these Netanyahu clips.
Way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Well, that's Trump.
Times. For Donald Trump and the MAGAs in Congress, this is not about fighting crime or about public safety. This is about sowing fear and intimidation and division among Americans. It was about creating a pretext to send armed military troops into our communities. This is about consolidating power in Donald Trump's hands. What he plans to do with that power, now or during
Based LMAO, I was trying to get that up there. Yeah, that was it right there.
the 2026 elections, should worry all of us. When you add to that,
I mean, it's just the same bullshit rhetoric. Like, obviously the cities have serious crime, so they're trying to stop the crime. I don't know what the problem is.
the Trump administration's effort to label as dangerous free speech critical of him. White House senior staff calling the Democratic Party fascist. The Trump-appointed FCC...
That's rich. They're accusing Republicans of calling Democrats fascist. Come on. This has got to be a troll. This is a troll.
Chair threatening to revoke broadcast licenses and the approval of a merger in order to silence late-night comedians. Trump's threats to jail political opponents.
Did Jimmy Kimmel get taken off the
You
air?
cannot call this anything
for one day
except an attack on the Constitution of the United States.
Jimmy Kimmel got taken off the air for like a day. They're like, they're fascist.
But let's also talk about what he's doing to the economy with all these attacks.
Antifa is definitely a fascist organization. No, but you don't understand. They call them, but you see, this is the thing with Antifa. If they call themselves anti-fascist, so that means they can't be fascist. Understand Antifa. I mean, I'm being sarcastic because of their name. It's just funny. But they can't be fascist because they say it's anti-fascist. Trump needs to be investigating into this psyop. No way there is legitimate people in power who say this shit, who have people believing it. Yeah, this is like, and even the people behind him, they look like freaking NPC bots. These are all NPCs. These are not legitimate people. Like, these people hear this dude saying, Republicans are calling Democrats fascist. Do these people even, is there a political conscience? These people are just NPCs going through like the same schedule over and over again on a 4-hour loop. They consider the Democratic. Yeah, no, you're North Korea. That is true. I mean, North Korea, based on its name, I mean, it has to be. It's democratic. You're right. I mean, this is like, dude, just how dystopian is this? Like, what is this, man? This is just sad. Just look at them behind. It's the same 30-second loop over and over again. They just get wound up, and it's the same, and you bots are going to stand behind me. Like, do you know this guy is just, like, what is even the point? Like, this politics, and now it's about the government shutdown, and it's just they're going to blame each other. It's just all a charade.
Mr. Prime Minister, do you support the president's peace plan?
Will you accept the Palestinian state?
Mr. Prime Minister.
Oh, Netanyahu.
Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men, something is broken. Something is cracked. deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Are you listening to me? I hope I'm
What?
saying it loud enough for the people in the back.
Do you want to talk about violence and race? Oh no. That's
Men
not a
who
good
look
idea.
like-
That's probably not a good idea. Dad Lemon is just mad he got fired from CNN. He got fired the same time Tucker Carlson did. Florida, the #1 spot. In what ranking? I know. Like, dude, you're going to be the one to lecture white people? Really? Seriously? Do we could be nice and not say anything, but it's like, brother. Ron will run again? I don't think so. I think he knows it's probably best he doesn't run. Unless something happens within the party that gives him an opening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you have Florida State beating Miami? Just because, I mean, I'm not overly impressed with Miami. Florida State's at home. It's a night game. They're very slight underdogs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ron has no chance of being president at this point.
Approvals from a lot of different countries that are involved in this. We probably shouldn't take questions, or would you like to take a question or two from perhaps a friendly Israeli reporter, if there's such a thing?
That's a very, very tough proposition. But I would think, Mr. President, that I would go by your instinct that this is, we'll have enough time for questions. Let's settle the issue first, I think.
Thank you very much, everybody.
And so Netanyahu says no to questions.
This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way. But it will be done. We prefer the easy way, but it has to be done. This can be done the easy way.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace, sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be headed, not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, good man, very good man, and some others, and they'll be named over the next few days, and it'll be quite the board. Working, everybody wants to be on it now. I don't know if that had anything to do. They named me and everybody else wanted to be on it. I guess they figure, well, he's a soft touch. He'll be easy to deal with. Working with the World Bank and others, it will be responsible for recruiting and training a new government that will be made up of Palestinians, along with highly qualified experts from all around the world. Hamas and other terrorist factions will play no role in the board, but they'll play no role in the governance of Gaza at all, directly or indirectly, as you know.
So Trump talking about the administration of Gaza, kind of, we took him a little while, but he got, look, we'll see if this is, let's be honest, this is a very favorable deal. I mean, and I don't know the exact what it is. Why would Israel agree to this? Israel is the one who's agreed to this. Hamas has yet to agree to it. I think it's probably pretty favorable to Israel if that's the case. But I don't know. From what we saw, the Palestinians are going to be able to remain in Gaza, apparently. And there's going to be some type of independent administrative body overseeing it, but they want to demilitarize all of Gaza, and it's, I think Israel wants full control of it by proxy, and so they've agreed to this, but we'll see if it ends it, because now Israel's like, well, if Hamas doesn't agree to it, that just gives us the go-ahead to go ahead and just fully finish them off. Israel's like, we just want the full go-ahead if they don't agree to this. That's what Netanyahu said. If James Franklin can't get it done this year at Penn State, they should fire him and hire no, they should not fire him. I mean, Penn State's not going to get anyone better than Franklin, trust me. Even though he's lost games. I mean, where was Penn State before Franklin? Like, you're not going to get much better than Franklin. This deal is a pathway to a Palestinian state. All the Zios who want Greater Israel are seething right now. Yeah, but Greater Israel is like fucking taking land from 6 different countries. I don't see how that's even possible. Israel can't even take Gaza. Maybe they can, I don't know, but do you think Vance will try to fund mass deportations like Trump, maybe taking the number of ICE agents from 30K to 60K? I don't know. The problem is, immigration is going to be less of a focus in 2028 because, not that the problem's been solved, but it's going to be on the back burner because it's not at the same level. So I don't know if he would commit to more money. It becomes harder to really get funding for something like that if it's not a top-of-the-line issue. I think you're asking, why does Trump have any say on what Israel does? Because we fund them. We give them money. Otherwise, we wouldn't be involved in the situation. Netanyahu wouldn't be coming to the White House. Did you see Thomas Robinson court hearing? Isn't it Tyler Robinson? Not Thomas. I'm going to try and find that. End of Gaza war. Current IDF line of control. Initial withdrawal, hostage release. Second withdrawal, when ISF mobilized per standard set in Trump plan. Third withdrawal, security buffer zone. The entire place is rubble, though. Yeah, Bitcoin's about to take off. It's back up to 114. You see that? 114K. I'm trying to find this.
They are inherently due because they are human beings. Let me be clear. I will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and participate in these legal proceedings. Council, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice. In regards to the next hearing, Council.
Yeah, but where is Robinson? They need to have him do an appearance or something, and so people want to hear what he has to say, but I don't think it's going to happen. It takes a while. The next meeting is on Halloween or the 30th or something, so it's in a month. The next meeting. The next time he's going to appear. Case will remain public. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person. Any new NATO news? 800 plus military higher ups are meeting with Hegseth tomorrow. I didn't know that. I thought Hegseth already had a meeting with all the top generals. Remember that? I didn't know about he's having another meeting. And I don't know. I don't think anything's going to happen. Russia cannot afford to go to war with NATO. It is not within their best interest to have it can't happen. Russia, plain and simple, cannot fight a war against NATO. It will not end well for them. They'll end up losing all the land they gained in Ukraine. At least they can keep the land in Ukraine if they do this war with just Ukraine only. Candace Owens has been on a warpath, poking holes in the entire narrative. Oh my God, she's such a badass. What happens with Russia after Putin dies? Probably the same thing that's been happening in Russia. Unless it's some type of coup or something. Then maybe Russia would go in a different direction. But it's probably just a chain of succession. Russia will handle the Eastern Front while China will control the Pacific Theater. Oh, sure. Sure. Yeah, if you get random texts, never respond to random text messages, bro. You wonder why Russia keeps sending their drones into NATO countries. Maybe they're trying to push to see how far they can go. I don't know. Maybe it was... It really doesn't make sense. But maybe it's... they were having alignment to where they were aligning soldiers on the border with Finland. And you almost wonder if they're just trying to push the needle a little bit. When is the bull run for alts happening, or is it not happening before the crypto winter? No, it's going to happen later on, and it takes time. It's going to happen in December probably, or November. Yeah, I heard the Tyreek Hill injury was really bad. Palestinian government welcomes Trump's plan to end Israel-Hamas war. Yeah, but what does Hamas think? No, I don't think it's anything, man. I would ignore it. I would ignore it and not respond. Did you see Ice Cube had a tour bus Had his tour bus burned in Portland. They thought it was ice. Hilarious. Bro, that's the worst boomer joke imaginable. Thoughts on Starmer talking about the new UK digital IDs? Yeah, it's concerning. A lot of those European countries are trying to push the digital IDs. Nothing good comes from that. Really nothing. You know. Whatever good is gained is lost in terms of freedom. So, no matter what they say about that, and they are trying to do it in a way that's very nefarious. They're trying to say, well, it's going to help us with illegal immigrants and them not being able to work. Bruh. You know, but that's kind of what they have to do to try and limit people's rights or take the freedom away. It's like, hey, this is going to actually help you. We're actually right wing. This is going to help us stop illegal immigration. That's what they're saying. With digital ID. How was your Sunday? My Sunday was fine. I like it's getting a bit colder. I like the weather this time of year. And you know what? It's really sunny. We don't have a lot of rain in the fall at all. Especially in like late September, early October, we don't have a ton of rain at all. It's normally just really sunny. His bus was actually burned. Wait, Ice Cube's bus was burned? Alright, that is pretty crazy if that's true. Last week was hella cloudy, not bad from Cleveland too. Yeah, but it's going to be really sunny this week. It was his cruise bus, not his bus that got burned. Are you starting your winter arc? What does that mean? What like workout winter arc? Yeah, I remember seeing some of those YouTube videos, the winter arc. Yeah, data selling is, I mean, anytime you get a text from a random number, just ignore it. I mean, unless you're expecting somebody to text you, then obviously, but you get a lot of that stuff. You get, oh, it's your Coinbase code and stuff, and obviously it's, you know, bullshit, things like that. But I got on the do not call list, and it's kind of alleviated it. So you do that, it helps a little bit. Do not message. The weather has finally gone down to the low mid 70s. You love fall weather. Yeah, it's gone down to the 60s, the 50s. We get some snow in the fall here. You get the little snow showers in October. It's very nice. If Trump-Gaza peace plan is accepted, does he get the Nobel Peace Prize? Yeah, I think they've admitted he's going to have to get it if this happens. At least Trump is trying peace for Gaza. Well, I mean, let's see what ends up happening here. I mean, obviously it's an advantageous deal for Israel. Why would Israel be accepting it? But look, he's not trying to displace the Palestinians. It seems like a pretty balanced deal, but you know, I'm sure there's some inner workings to it. You just looked it up. His bus really did get firebombed. Dude, there's some Antifa. I mean, they are anti-fascist. That's a very anti-fascist thing to do. To firebomb a bus that you thought was ice, but it was Ice Cube. Like, dude. Thoughts on the movie tariffs? Our movies are only going to get worse. No, I don't even know. What are what are the entertainment tariffs? Tariffs on Chinese movies? Tariffs on off selling movies to the United States? I mean, there's a new post. It's like, man, there's a new post. What, I mean, like, is it really this important? There's not even a new post.
President the other day. How did you feel about that back in action?
Well, I think, Elon Musk and President Trump have a lot of things in common. And I think they both really want to help society. I think they're both great individuals. And I'd love if they can reconcile their problems and get back together. That'd be great.
All right. Well, it'd be great if everybody can get back together without throwing haymakers. President the other day. How did you feel about that back in action?
Well, I think,
We're heading to a dangerous place because crime is still not abated in the cities. And the dirty little secret, Jesse, is that the overwhelming majority of crime in our cities is actually committed by a really, really, really small number of people.
Right.
Take even Columbus, Ohio, where I live, city of over 1 million people. It was a Democrat mayor's study who said that less than 500 people were committing over 50% of the crime. And then get this, if you look at the locations where they're committed, over 50% of crimes are committed in less than 5% of the locations in a city. So this isn't rocket science. We need precision policing, get the actual job done. All right, I'm from a state that put a man on the moon. We could figure out how to actually end this problem. But the reality is, it is a
Yeah, he's right. Ohio there's a lot of scientific achievement and stuff like that.
Political problem for this fringe of the Democratic Party that has the rest of their party in a chokehold, where a lot of these Democrat mayors might privately agree with you and I. I've talked to many of them, and they do. But they can't do it because they're beholden to a political base that in some ways is addicted to keeping these criminals off the street. You want to solve the problem, put either of them in a psychiatric institution or in prison where they belong. People would say, how could you find them in a city of 1 million people? The answer is they make it really easy because they are repeatedly committing crimes. So this isn't complicated, it's common sense, but it comes down to having the spine to actually see it through.
Yeah. Well, no, it is a very small number of people. You just have to put them in jail. That's it. It seems very easy, but the liberals won't do it. They think it's racist. Breaking 911. Breaking 9/11.
Or the Second Ward, as it's known, has gone viral for its Halloween decorations. A man and a woman are wearing red hats, black shirts, khaki pants, and have zip ties in their pockets. There's also 2 Mexican flags and a third person wearing a colorful poncho.
With everything going on in our community, with all the problems our community's having, it just seems politically right.
And your decoration has gone viral on social media. You said you saw it on Instagram as well.
This
What was
dude's
your reaction to
4'11".
just seeing this go viral on the internet?
I was surprised that many people actually liked it. I mean, the comments that I was reading, that wasn't really none negative.
Who do these people represent?
People who wear masks that have red hats. It ain't right what's happening. It ain't right that our country's going the wrong way instead of a right way. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, it's just a point about morally doing things right or morally doing things wrong. By no means am I threatening any agents. I mean, that's just a little statement that I'm putting up for myself.
The reporter mogging him hard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is just like an attention-seeking thing. It's like, really, man. A Norwegian gets arrested after trying to have a little meeting. Remember when the dude tried climbing the Trump Tower? He said he wanted that dude had some serious problems. What happened to that guy? Remember in 2016 or 2016, a dude tried scaling the Trump Tower, said he wanted to have a conversation with Trump. What did he think? Trump was going to be on the roof? Like it was a fucking pot of gold or something? He said he thought Trump was going to be on the roof with a pot of gold, so he had to climb Trump Tower. He said he had an urgent message for Trump how to win the election. Yeah, the message was like, call Hillary a bitch. YouTube agrees to pay the $24 million. Yeah, this is what Trump posted.
I think we should understand that we're giving everybody a chance to have this done peacefully, something that will achieve all our war objectives without any further bloodshed. But if Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. This can be done the easy way, or it can be done the hard way, but it will be done. We prefer the easy way, but it has to be done. All these goals must be achieved because we didn't fight this horrible fight, sacrifice the finest of our young men to have Hamas stay in Gaza and threaten us again and again and again.
Well, he's saying this is it. I want to have the full go ahead to clear out Gaza, and if they don't agree to the deal that Israel's agreed to, whatever this 20-point peace plan is for Trump, he's going to clean out Gaza. That's what he's saying. He has so many fooled. I don't think so. He's got like a 1% approval rating. I don't think he has that many people fooled. Well, you shouldn't be hiring any H-1Bs. That's the issue. You think Hamas has way more people fooled? Well, they say it's not Hamas. They say it's the Palestinians and they're under Hamas and, but I know what you're saying. They say it's not Hamas that they support. Well, some of them do. Did you see what did it say? Starmer had like a 16% approval rating. The guy had like a minus 52 approval. It's insane. Kind of crazy to think Putin was alive when Stalin was alive. Yeah, but Stalin died in like 54. I mean, that's not that crazy long ago. Wait, what year did Stalin die? 54 or 50? I think it was 54 if I had to guess. Maybe it was 64. 54? $53? What are you gonna do? Oh, that's a brutal injury, man. That is a brutal injury. Yeah, I think the Dolphins. The Dolphins, what are they, 0-3? they're winning that game. Stormer looks like the type of kid you're legally obligated to bully in school. Yeah, he looks like, you know, you could visualize him as like a 16-year-old heavyset kid. That's just... He is someone that, I don't know how he got a position of power. It seems like Trump pulled a 180 on his approach to Russia and Ukraine. Is this art of the deal or capitulation to NATO? Well, I mean, we're in the problem with Trump is this is what Trump has to decide. He can cooperate with NATO and the Western European countries, or he can say fuck off and leave the area. Obviously, he's cooperating with them. You know, some of the supporters don't like NATO at all, so they want him to say to NATO, fuck off. You know, he's not interested in helping Ukraine. And then maybe we'll have a little bit of a better relationship with Russia, but I don't know how that ends the war quickly. Ariana Grande blasts Trump voters in scathing message. Has your life gotten better? Ariana Grande, she's got like an eating disorder or something. You've seen stuff with her.
You've dealt with all of these figures in that region. You know how tenuous this can be. One step forward, two steps back.
Yes.
You feel this one is different?
I do, because we have so much widespread support from all of the Gulf Coast Arab countries. We have widespread support from the Europeans. I just left a meeting with the British, talked to the French today. So we have a lot of support for the plan, a lot of buy-in. Do we have some details to work out? Yes, but you know President Trump as well as I do. With that indomitable spirit of his, everyone's going to be pushed by him, and I think we're going to get to the finish line.
You've dealt with.
Isn't like 20% of the UK population foreign-born, non-white? Yeah, it's something like that. They have a bigger, you know, white base than we do in the United States, proportionate, you know, the population, but they have a lot smaller of a population, so it can change faster there, you know, versus the United States. We got a lot more people. I don't even know who this account is, bro. It's like...
I have nothing to apologize for. You know, it is a tragedy that Charlie Kirk was killed in that way. I feel for his widow and his children. They will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. But there is no legacy to honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy. Mm-hmm. And as a Black woman and as a Muslim in this country, I refuse for...
What a grand slam, black and Muslim.
I've no honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy. And as a black woman and as a Muslim in this country, I refuse to join the chorus that changes the history of what is on the record from this man. And so, Nancy Mace, the president, like whatever, these crazy people can do whatever they want to do. Yeah. But I am not going to be bullied into complacency, into, dishonoring who I am and what I stand for just to, make them feel comfortable. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just think she doesn't like the country, and she doesn't like how we were founded. I mean, this is the issue with these immigrants. They come in and they want to impose their culture, their country onto us, and so obviously they're not going to like our history. It doesn't work. There's no alignment with these immigrants. It just doesn't work. You have your own country. This is, obviously we have ours. It just doesn't work. Like, of course the woman doesn't like Charlie Kirk. He's a Caucasian white dude. I mean, it's like, unless you announce your white guilt, she's not gonna like you as a white person. It's just stupid. Not seen a single person who wants Bad Bunny to perform at the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't even know what that is, man. They said it's for foreign reach. I guess. Oh, oh man. Oh man. This is the slop that the NFL puts out. Whites will decline its share of population from about 67% in 2005 to 47% 2050. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that can even be remedied. I guess you stop immigration. It probably gets remedied. Stop immigration. The problem is the immigrants coming in, they have higher birth rates than native whites as well. That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this murder rate 100 times, but it's like, what's the point? They're not gonna care. You could put that on there 100 times, they're not gonna say anything. They're just gonna say it's like racism, even though if you look at adjusted for income bracket and stuff.
I find it rather extraordinary that we are very casually having a conversation about the tactical success or failure of dropping a 3,000.
Is the Trump hair coming back?
Pound bomb or two on a sovereign country that did not attack us.
Bro, this was from 3 months ago. Come on. Paul Feinbaum wants to run for senator. Yeah, I saw that in Alabama. What's the point? What's the point, man? Dude rage baits constantly on his talk show. He wants to win like uncontested in Alabama, basically name recognition alone. IDK, the NFL is still relevant, pure slop. Yeah, man. The problem is the NFL has such a massive fan base. Like, you don't even understand. The NFL has way bigger. It's way more popular than any other major sports. Way more. So for it to really not exist anymore, that's basically impossible. It's always going to exist. It's too lucrative. You know? But the NFL, I agree. I think the NFL has gotten really bad. The product's gotten really bad. And then also it's just extremely liberal. Like, it's heavily liberal. You're starting to think it's turning into WWE, only like NFL for fantasy football. College football is way better. Yeah, I don't buy it's like rigged. I don't really buy that it's rigged. I just think it's a bad product, honestly. I mean, people are always going to say it's rigged because there's a bad call or something happens. And, you know, it's honestly not too different than like conspiracy theories that we see in the politics constantly. They'll just, you know, everything now in the modern sense, a lot of things are conspiracy and a lot of things people were lied about, but they try and capitalize and say everything's a conspiracy now. There's way too many idiot man children to cancel the NFL. The NFL is just way too popular as an entity. I mean, they're building like, think about it. They build, I mean, think of like $3 or $4 billion stadiums. Dude, I would love to see the United States have an infrastructure project, whether it's like a mega project and it's for like our country's history. And it's like we work on a different mega construction project every few years that costs like $1 billion. And it becomes like a tourist site in different states. I think that'd be really cool. You know, they build these stadiums and the stadiums cost like $3 or $4 billion. And they're constantly building new ones. Think about that. NFL stadiums. I agree with you. QBs are now so much less talented. And the other thing is so many of these people are so obsessed with the NFL, they just cope and say, no, the defenses are just better. It's just not true. I mean, just look, you can just tell there. I mean, is there anyone in terms of throwing talent on the level that because I loved the NFL in like 2013. I mean, the quarterbacks were so much better. I was also a lot younger, but do you care about the government shutdown? No, honestly, I don't. I think it's a ruckus. I think it'll be worked out. Like, the government shuts down for a day and people, it's like, I think it's a joke, honestly. It's a joke. They try and demand certain things because, you know, of the filibuster. And did you play football? Yeah, I'm like in 7th grade, but not into high school. Throwing talent will get better once Arch Manning declares. I don't know, man. Arch Manning has been bad. But I also think people have kind of overreacted to Arch Manning. Jordan Love is so mid. Yeah, isn't Jordan Love? I mean, I think Jordan Love actually had a good game, to be fair to him. But Jordan Love is like the typical... The dude's just not that good, and they think he's like this franchise great young quarterback. He's just not that good. But I mean, look at all these quarterbacks now. How many years has Dak Prescott been the QB of the fucking Cowboys? Like 12 years. I mean, at what point is it time to move on? Who was the one? How about Kyler Murray? He's been there for like 6 years. The dude is just not, you know, it's just not good enough. But these teams, they get in this weird purgatory to where they just stick with the same quarterback and they keep going 7-10, 7-10, 7-10. Even Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Judge is the best player in the AL for sure. Judge is going to win MVP. Did you see the betting odds? I think he's like minus 330 now. Yeah, Judge, I said he should win MVP even after Raleigh was hitting those home runs in late September. You're not winning MVP. If you're batting 245, you're not winning MVP. I'm sorry. And it's not even a boomer take. I mean, at a certain point, I don't even value batting average that much. You can't hit 240 just because you catch. The other thing with Cal Raleigh is he catches like 60% of the games. He's basically a DH. The guy's a DH, and they want me to give him MVP. The guy's hitting 240. He's a DH. You're going to give a DH who hits 240 an MVP. That's the same thing with Ohtani. I'll say this. Cal Raleigh is better than Ohtani. I'll give that to Cal Raleigh. He's better than Ohtani. That's what I'll say. I'll admit that. I'll admit that. Even though I don't like Cal Raleigh, I'll admit he is better than Ohtani. Mahomes will never surpass Brady. Yeah, Mahomes is really overrated now. It's really bad. And people still try and make him like he's this super talent. He's really not. I mean, I was not impressed with him even when he was doing really well. But now he's having these terrible years in the middle of his career, and it's just gone off the rails. How is Raleigh better than Ohtani? Dude, Ohtani's a DH who like throws 20 innings a year. All right, let's stop with Ohtani. This is what I'll say about Ohtani. He is a DH. He throws like 1 inning a year, and people are like, oh, he pitches. And then Ohtani steals all these bases. It's the same thing with Juan Soto. Dude, you hear all these people talking about Juan Soto. Juan Soto had a 40-40 year. They made the base paths. This is how big the bases are now. Oh, yeah, my grandmother could get 20 stolen bases. Dude, there's literally 320-pound catchers that get like 17 stolen bases, and we're supposed to be impressed with Juan Soto with all this bullshit 40-40, 50-50. The stolen bases, this is Mickey Mouse. The stolen bases are Mickey Mouse. People need to stop being obsessed with stolen bases. This is how big the base paths are now. So yeah, I'd hope that he's like when there's like 320-pound DHs stealing 35 bases a year, we're supposed to be impressed with Juan Soto's having a 40-40 year. That's the most overrated thing ever. Remember when people were like, oh, Shohei Ohtani had a 50-50 year. Really? With the bases like 7 feet wide? Yeah, that's not impressive, man. But I will say this. I don't like Cal Raleigh, but he is better than Ohtani. That's even me, and I'm a big Ohtani fan. But I have to admit Raleigh is actually better than Ohtani. But Judge is the best player. Raleigh is second. Probably Ohtani is third if you look at some of the experts and the analytics and more. Yeah, no, I know the stealing is such a joke, and then people don't even adjust for it. It's like obviously stealing is way easier now. Maybe you should adjust your expectations. Maybe a 40-40 season is actually not impressive, but it's like this huge thing. Who is the best QB now? I don't even know. Honestly, it's either Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. People that say Mahomes, I mean, Mahomes has been bad for a while. But it's either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Those are the only ones I can think of. No, it's not Love. There's no way it's Love. Nice Lego set. Thanks, I appreciate it. Your judgment on MLB MVP is sad. Dude, are you joking? You're going to be very sad when Raleigh loses. Judge is going to win. Judge's numbers are way better. They more than wake up for the fact that Raleigh catches, and he only catches 60% of the games anyways. Lamar Jackson is washed. He's not washed. He's only like 28 or something. How old is Lamar Jackson? He's like 29 years old. Now, for a quarterback to be washed, you're probably like 34, 35. Unless it's like Rodgers or Brady, they can play. You know, they played longer and they were good. Aaron Rodgers is not one of the best quarterbacks. He's washed. Aaron Rodgers is 41 or something. He should have hung it up already. It's like he still throws a good ball. He really does. You look at Rodgers, he still zip on it. But you can tell he lost a year. He lost a year with the Jets. He could have had a good year with the Jets, like his final year. He has the ACL or whatever it is, and then he tries to come back the next year, and it just doesn't work. Who do you think is going to go to the World Series? I think it's probably going to be the Reds versus the Tigers. That's the most likely scenario, probably. The Reds versus the Yankees. Imagine it's the Reds versus the Yankees. The most random matchup. The Reds make it. The most random matchup, the Reds versus the Yankees. The Reds versus the Red Sox. Stephen Miller is a Patriot. Trump 2028 never quit. Yankees versus Dodgers. Hopefully not. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see the Dodgers in. I'd be fine with the Yankees or Red Sox making it. That would be good to see those teams. Those are small market teams. Those are very small market. You're rooting for the Phillies? Yeah, the Phillies, the Phillies are a good team. The Phillies could make it. Phillies, Yankees, Phillies, Tigers, maybe. I think it's going to be the Yankees or the Tigers. I think those are the best teams in the AL, clearly. I think we have to be real about it. Dodgers are going to be playing the Dodgers because they're their own worst enemy. Yeah, the Dodgers, they might lose to the Reds. Who knows? I know the Reds are a scrappy team. Someone has too much time on their hands. The ice thing. Boy, why am I getting all this Bitcoin stuff? What does that even mean? If we reduce fraud by 20 to 30%, so how much fraud do you think there is? Like, you really think there's like fucking 30% illegals voting in New Jersey? Yankees over Reds in 4. You think, yeah, Yankees versus Reds in World Series? That would be a good World Series to see. That would be I would like that one. I'd like to see the Yankees and the Reds. I'd like to see the Yankees and the Phillies, the Red Sox, and the Cubs. The Cubs and the Yankees. Yeah, Yankees, Cubs. That's probably the one that people want. Milwaukee versus the Yankees. That would be a good one. It'd be good to see Milwaukee make a run. Mariners versus the Yankees in the ALCS. That'd be a good one.
Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that, and so we will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so, one, it's all coming out. Two, I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president. One other point, though, on Comey, Kate, this happened when Donald Trump was president. So if you're trying to tell me this is not politically motivated, the statement that they're referring to where he allegedly lied, Donald Trump was president. So why didn't you indict him then? Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now.
So he thinks they're going to win. He thinks they're going to win the midterms, basically. Yeah, Fetterman is the most hated Democrat senator in terms of approval. How does the asshole get caught banging a Chinese spy and still staying out? That's actually a really good point. You should be barred from office for something like that. That's a very good point, because that really is a massive threat to the United States. It's espionage. It's a huge betrayal. I mean, when you are that horny over an Asian chick like that, it's a big problem. So they really should be banned from office for that. We can't have that. Yeah, no, it's a national security, it's a dangerous national security issue. You're right. Yeah, this is a horror show in across the pond. Arrested for a meme. Yep.
Make the statement like that Mormons are the Antichrist, which is a shocking statement. And again, this is somebody you're just meeting for the first time. There was anger. I mean, it was a long stand.
Thoughts on the Gaza deal? Didn't see the beginning of the live stream. I mean, I think it seems like it's a decent deal, but why would Israel agree to it? You know, Israel is the one that agreed to it, supposedly. You know, so it's like, why would they agree to this if they're not getting any land and the Palestinians can remain? I guess they have to demilitarize and there's stipulations, but I'm guessing it's a pretty pro-Israel deal. I mean, why else would Israel agree to it? Or they're just not going to honor it?
Standing anger that I'm speculating, but what he did took planning. It also took real motivation and real anger to ultimately do what he did.
And now John's in that. He said that there was nothing in that conversation besides some elevated language, some pointed language towards the LDS community here. He said nothing rose to the level where he felt he needed to report that conversation. Now, since this tragedy happened on Sunday, he has been in contact with the FBI and also with the Michigan State Police here. We want to wrap you up, Omar, to bring everyone up to speed on what's happened. 4 people are dead. 8 others are injured. Today, we saw a person in a red vehicle drive through this barricade on the other side here. You can see they've added these hardened barriers in place now after that happened. A man was arrested. Photos appear to show what looks like a long gun inside of the...
Bro, you're going to be fine. you're going to be fine. It's a scam of something. You need to ignore it. I mean, or you report it into your local police. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want me to say? You think Israel agreed to it because they know Hamas won't? So yeah, right. I think Israel wants an excuse to wipe out, all of Gaza. They've already wiped it out, but they want to remove them. So they can say, well, we tried. I mean, but it's like the ultimate ultimatum. You must agree to this or we're justified in continuing.
Front seat of that vehicle. We know that person, a 21-year-old, is under arrest. Not sure just yet on the charges that he's facing. Investigators still working to determine this motive. We know ATF is bringing in a team of renowned specialists to work on this case. That church still being searched through, combed through by those investigators. We know that the FBI is continuing on in their investigation, and we do have it confirmed now that 3 improvised explosive devices were found here, Omar.
Mormon hate crime. Father of 22-year-old woman who was brutally killed by a career criminal. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's these liberal soft on crime policies.
Ready, face, forward, watch. I hope so.
I am. I'm very confident.
What's with the thumb movement like that?
Well, that sucks. Look at this, Lucy. Her car got lost. Well, that sucks.
You better check yourself for your real stuff.
You remember this missing kid? Sorry, I wasn't talking there. Yeah, that missing kid, turned out he was trying to run away from home. That was a big thing for like a few hours. Ryder Cup? Wasn't the Ryder Cup an annihilation? Yeah, they are way more. Thoughts on, I don't know, man. I don't know what that is. If Trump wants to fix Portland, shouldn't he have given them money to fix? Shouldn't he have given them more money for more cops, detectives, judges, programs to target? Yeah, but the problem with any of that is it's not going to, that money is allocated. The way in which it's used is, it's divvied up by the local government. You can't just insist they hire a bunch more people and force them to be hard on crime. It's a local issue. Deborah Leah said Candace lied about Kirk. I think Kirk was very clearly pro-Israel. I mean, it is what it is. He was trying to formulate strategies to get people more pro-Israel. People hate Israel. They're trying to blame him for everything. So obviously they're going to blame him for the assassination. Did you see this police chief in Michigan speaking Arabic says replacing force with Muslims? Yeah, I mean, I think it's completely gone. And what is it, Dearborn, and maybe a few other cities in Michigan. I believe they've been taken over by, they've honestly been taken over by Muslims. The cities have. So the cities, at this point, they must be majority Muslim. I don't know what the demographics are. I think they have to be majority Muslim. Why else would that happen? They're changing everything to Muslim. All the signs, it's all in, it's all in the native language. It's like they follow the Islam stuff. It's really bad. I mean, it's like the cities have just got invaded and taken over. And now they're changing like the names of the cities, and it's just like, I guess this is what modern liberalism is. They want the country to become whatever third world population takes them over. Yeah, man, in terms of that threat, I'm sure they do that to, hundreds of people a day. They're trying to get someone to crack. They're trying to get money from you. If you want to be reassured, go to the police. Without a single bullet. Well, it just happens because, you allow unfettered immigration. Right? It's like, dude, but I don't know why. And why are you, you're like pestering my chat with this? Like, man, I don't know what to tell you. The Democrats don't care about America anymore and are inherently trying to burn down the country. No, it's not. It's deeper than Trump. Well, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. But it's just more of this all, to me, it goes back to the post World War II mantra, of white guilt. So with or without Trump, it was going to happen. I think with or without Trump, this type of takeover by some of these third world populations into cities. Liberals don't want to burn down the country. We live here. I assure you, none liberals think we're destroying the country. No, and I didn't say that. I responded to the comment. I mean, whether or not you're burning, to me, it's more of an exaggeration. I mean, obviously, if you think what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan is acceptable, then you don't really believe in the United States, or you think the United States is just a globalist economic zone. If you believe that what's happening in there has to be at some point but the thing is there can't be a culture because the culture is Caucasian. The country was 90% Caucasian. That's our founding culture. So that's why they say white people have no culture, because they don't want us to have a way of life. They want people to come in and do whatever they want and change the fundamental, country as it was known and as it was founded. So they try and discredit, our ancestors and what was founded and things like that. In the United States, the country, gets 1770 since we declare independence. We're the most powerful country in the world, like 175 years later. It's more specific. It's white Anglo-Saxon Protestant culture. The wave of Southern Euros and Irish began what is happening now. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think other whites can assimilate just fine to the United States. I think there's a big fundamental difference between an Italian coming over versus a Muslim. And honestly, no, that's wrong. It was really the Hart-Celler Act in '65, which was put into place because of World War II and the result of it, and also because of the Cold War. Congress needs to crack down on data sharing. Well, I'm tired of getting random text messages, but I don't get many of them because I'm on a no-call list now. I used to get a lot more. I was going to change my number. It's annoying. It's annoying to deal with. How would you reverse what's happening in Dearborn? Well, you need different leadership. You need a remigration plan with something like that, and just that none of that is ever going to be achieved with what we currently have in the country. Especially, I don't know what Dearborn is in terms of how liberal it is and stuff like that, but the only way would be violating the Constitution. Yeah, but the Constitution can be changed. But it is a challenge. You're right. It's a legal challenge. Has remigration been done in recent times? Probably more so by third world countries, if I had to guess. I know Iran or I don't know if it was Iran or another Middle Eastern country just deported 1 million people in like a month. They have a different form of process. Yeah, there it was. Iran deported 500K or whatever. But I mean, what way are they doing that? They've got a lot more control over their populace. You deport anyone, they're going to start rioting. Progressives legit think the right is fascist. You just argued with one on Insta all day over them saying we've been brainwashed into electing a dictator. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do believe that Trump is a fascist. I mean, I think he's just a populist. You know, if he was a fascist, there would be steps he would be taking to do things like rip up the Constitution and strong arm people and not pay attention to the Supreme Court, not pay attention to any judge. I mean, does the left ever recover post-Trump? They've lost their fucking minds. The left is it's a fundamental different thing than it was 20 years ago. I think. I just don't think they really like the country. Honestly, I don't really think they like the country. They want to fundamentally change the country into whatever the modern liberal socialist progressive ideology is. But the history of the United States is completely it's the antithesis of whatever they believe in. So how can they say they love the country? Go look at the 1790 Naturalization Act. These people can't love the founding fathers. I mean, this is a joke. Bill Clinton would be considered fascist to them. Yeah, Bill Clinton would certainly be considered at least slightly right-wing on most things, especially the I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, Bill Clinton would be seen as right-wing. Dude, I mean, you really need to just like, dude, can you go to a different stream? I don't want to be mean. Like, I know, I don't know what happened tonight, man. But you keep talking to me about stuff. This is not even in relation to the stream. I don't know what you want me to say about you signing up at JCPenney. I don't know what you want me to say. Everyone has our information, man. They think the founding fathers and God are racist. Well, they think the founding fathers would have to be completely racist. Anyone any white person in the 17, 18, 1900s is going to be completely racist. Even the early 2000s, 2000 liberal white people would be considered racist to what liberals view nowadays. The Dems hate the country because they voted Trump back as president. Well, I mean, obviously they're gonna just certainly hate that, but they just want to fundamentally change the country to whatever the modern, liberal idea is. I mean, you look at the United States and the way in which we're going, it's not pretty in terms of the living quality of the United States, and it's very easy to see why. It's based on immigration patterns. The country is going to become harder and harder and harder for middle-class people to have high living quality. The living quality will go down with the levels of immigration that we have. It's already started to happen. Obviously, people are very angry. How about all these dumbass... You see all these dumbass, like, white women arguing. Oh my... Like, 20-year-old white women will say, well, I vote because of the housing. No, you don't. You vote liberal. You vote because housing. How are liberals going to bring housing down with affordable care? They're going to build commie blocks, or... The amount of immigration is causing the housing crisis. There's too many people. There's too much competition. Right? I wouldn't say there's too many people, but there's not enough houses. There's certainly not too many people in the United States. In general, there's not. But there's too much competition for the houses that have already been built or the new ones going up. That's the issue. And it's been exacerbated by whatever the housing bubble is. Because it is, even on top of the immigration, I think it's some type of bubble that has to come down at some point. The housing prices are just way too high. You really, I mean, you get a good neighborhood, it's 400 or 500. A lot of POCs hate the country because most whites would have been supremacists on some level, so they can't get past that. Well, I mean, I just think it's a different. It's like when you have these cultures clashing, it's just not good for anyone. It doesn't benefit anyone. It should, it should be limited. Like the immigration should be limited, but it's just not. Evidently, it's not. But I mean, it's also definitely it's a capitalist idea. If the native people are not going to work for a certain amount of money, they would rather bring in immigrants because they'll work for cheap. And so that's kind of where capitalism comes into play too. Thoughts on Broncos privately funded stadium? Well, I mean, congratulations if they're able to do that. Privately funded stadiums are they're definitely probably going to be more normalized. But the way in which they're funded, it's probably funneled somehow through public. If I had to guess, I know what they say it's private, but you wonder what are the deals behind the scenes. Start by revoking refugee status on problematic third world migrants. The only refugees who should be allowed are Ukrainians and white South Africans. I mean, what do you like? Isn't the first thing you do? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at everything, but you limit the immigration for sure from a lot of these countries that we're taking in. I mean, this is not. I'm not going to spell it out, but this is not hard in terms of the immigration that we should have. It's really not hard, but again, we're not the fucking CEOs of these corporations. They want as much easy manual labor as they can get, and that's obviously different than the immigrants that we would want to bring in. But it's like I don't know. You think the AI would be able to alleviate it, but the problem is it's going to raise prices. If you stop bringing in these immigrants, it'll raise prices until the AI catches up. Then the AI does most of it. We're going to have like total AI farms is what it's going to have to be. Yeah, but like that doesn't even make sense. They don't have their own distinct culture. The country that they built is the culture. That is the culture. All of the inventions, all of the entire apparatus of the economy. Like the culture is the country itself, the United States of America. Do you think there's an EMP attack? Bro, I know you just trolled the entire stream. I mean, it's just strange. I just don't get it. You think 3i Atlas is alien tech? I don't know. I've heard about that from people. You know someone from Poland, and she said whenever you see someone driving an expensive car in Poland, it's a Ukrainian refugee. What are they getting, fucking money or something? The Ukrainian refugees are rich, is what they're saying. If the U.S. leaders and local leaders don't believe in what is considered America, well, what is an American? They say an American is anyone born anywhere, anytime. That's really what that should be their mantra. Anyone born anywhere, anytime. That's what they think an American is. Rich Ukrainians fled to Poland. The United States took in a fair... Let me tell you something. I know the United States took in a fair share of Ukrainian refugees as well. For sure. Silver is about to take off. Boomers will take that shit to their casket. They'll never sell. Yeah, silver is the most stable asset, bro. Silver might be the most stable asset ever. Even more stable than gold. It is. I mean, we got like a 5% return rate over 20 years. We'll take it. Hedge it. Hedge it. Give me silver bars. Silver. I want silver, not gold. Silver. Lower market cap, higher potential. Ukrainian refugees are scared to come to America after the train incident. Oh, yeah, I would imagine. You know, and it's also, you know, just public transportation is a no-go, I would say. Especially for women. For women, public transportation is an absolute no-go. Or it has to be limited. And even just so the germs and all that stuff as well. But isn't that funny how liberals are always the ones to love public transportation, and then, I mean, their laws or lack thereof are the reason that people don't want to use public transportation, because they let criminals out early, and they end up roaming in those type of areas, and you have all these subway incidents or these bus incidents. You're not trolling. All right, man. But it's like, you've sent like 500 comments. It's just, can you go to a different stream, please? Like, yeah, I didn't even ban him. He's saying I'm mean. I didn't even ban him. U.S. public transportation was originally among the best in the world. NYC's rank was #1 in the 40s. Absolutely. But even look at California into the 80s. I mean, these definitely, they were amazing. Amazing big cities with very clean big cities. Public transportation is shit in this country. You're stuck in a metal tube with crazy, smelly homeless people. Now, you're right. Well, every major city has the same issue with all these homeless and the amount of poverty in the big cities and how dirty the big cities are. So they all have the exact same problem, because that's where you would need public transportation. So the you know, the spillover of the bad policies in these major cities by liberals have led to the public transportation mess. Yeah, I don't even know, man. This guy is like, he's a fucking, like, these people, they think this dude is like, he's gonna fucking cure a disease or something if I go to him. Which state would likely turn blue in the future, Texas or Florida? It's hard to say. I mean, I'd probably say Florida over Texas, even though Florida is definitely... You could argue Florida might even be more red right now, but Florida, because it was more recently a swing state. Texas has been red. The subways are rough. I mean, the subways, it's like a New York experience, but women for subways, I think it's a bad idea. I mean, I'd go on the subway, but the subways, you got to be careful with like getting sick. I feel like when I was 16 or 17, went to San Francisco. There was some public transportation. It was pretty cramped. I don't know if it was a bus or maybe a trolley or something. I think it was. I mean, it wasn't bad, but a lot of Asians in San Francisco for sure. It's a huge tech hub, just on the West Coast in general. The existence of subway systems also disproves gentrification. In New York City, they were almost all red line, which means they had every area a line served was Caucasian. Are you going to do an interview with Cody anytime soon? Yeah, I think we're setting one up. I think we'll be setting one up, man. I think I should be doing one. Yesterday, a car with a Mexican. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to ban you, man, honestly. Because this is honestly just really annoying to deal with. Like, you know, you can go to Tim Pool, you can go to another stream. It's like harassment of my chat and me. Now you're actually harassing me and you're threatening me. You talk about being threatened by other people, you're threatening me. This is some serious karma now. Now I'm getting threatened by you after all of this. VSC memes ecosystem. Yeah, I've heard of that coin. I have heard of it. Dude, I don't know, man. I've had such a tough time the past really the past few months with crypto. I'm just staying in stuff I'm already in. I mean, I'm not going to burn. I haven't really invested in crypto in over a year of fiat, putting in fiat in. Will you watch MLB playoffs? I mean, the Yankees Red Sox, that's going to be a good game. Again, I could tweet it out. I think people will agree with me. People will agree with me if I tweet this out. World Series matchup prediction. Yankees versus Reds. Yankees win the World Series in 5 games. Imagine that. Imagine. Just dropped a little bit more fiat last week during the dip, but not buying much anymore. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I had entered a lot in 2023, which I guess is a good time. But really, is it a good time? It depends what meme coin you're getting into, because some of the meme coins will, the charts are a lot different than like the normie AI slop, the normie just typical altcoin slop. Hate watching Guardian. You hate that the Guardians play at 1 o'clock. Yeah, but the Guardians always play at 1 o'clock pretty much every time they're in the playoffs. Unless they're facing the Yankees, then they'll be put on prime time. But that's just how it is. But that's MLB's problem. MLB very easily could make it easier and do it, but they're trying to milk out as much as possible, so that's why they do it the way they do it. So there's one game at 1, there's one game at 3, there's one game at 6, there was one game at 9. They could just say, okay, but the first AL game is going to start at 6. The first NL game is going to start at 6. They're on different networks. The second AL game is going to start at 8. The second NL game is going to start at 8. That would be better for because you'd get the games later. But they want to show every game to maximize the amount of ads, and overall viewership rather than making it easier for the fans. It's just the pure capitalist slop. But I mean, I like capitalism, but that's what it is. Gold went from 1,500 in 2023, 2024 to 7,500 in 2025. Yeah, that's basically well, that's adding probably like $12 trillion to its market cap. Yeah, gold, I mean, you have to give gold credit. It is the #1 most valuable asset in terms of market cap. I mean, that's an impressive, if you add $12 trillion to your market cap. Should the Bengals pick up famous Jameis Winston? The Bengals, I mean, they have bigger problems. They got the problem. The Joe Burrow gets injured every year now. So I don't know what happened with that, but he's just constantly injured. They blame the offensive line. I don't know. I don't know if it's the offensive line. I see a lot of these quarterbacks. Everyone just blames the offensive line when these quarterbacks play bad. It's the same thing with Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud. And I guess sometimes it is the offensive line, but considered socialized. Yeah, I think the healthcare system, the private healthcare system, is such an issue. I actually did get healthcare. I actually got really good healthcare. Even in my situation, but I had to get healthcare. I mean, the healthcare system is it is a mess. It's because of the privatized healthcare, the insurance companies. The insurance companies have to be it has to be redone. The only way is if everything gets stripped down and then it gets rebuilt. The healthcare system has to be completely rebuilt. You can't really fix it in the way that people want to try and fix it. Your grandpa has been collecting gold. Well, how many pounds of gold? How many ounces?
Musk sent this after the shooting with a screenshot from the Jewish group labeling Christian identity as extremist. Musk wrote, "The ADL hates Christians, therefore it is a hate group." Everything about this is wrong. And to be honest, I first went to Elon and wanted him to explain this to me about, because, the guy's a genius, and he told me to piss off, and then it said I can't send him messages anymore. And I find that regrettable. I was talking to him about maybe doing something on Twitter not too long ago, talk to his people.
Well, I think Elon blocked him if you're not able to send him messages or something. Maybe he muted him.
I don't believe in just, trashing platforms. I think that...
No, ADL is very bad, 100%. Yeah, ADL is a hate group against white people. Yeah. ADL hates, you can't have any white cause and stuff, white Christian cause. The Musk is right on this for sure. So I don't know what Como is saying. I mean, I don't know about that shooting or whatever Musk is talking about, but do you think the key to competing with China is curtailing their Belt and Road Initiative? Haven't heard anyone in the administration or previous administrations talk about how to handle the subject. Well, China is operating on different rules. China is extorting resources from a lot of these third world countries that they'd say if we did this, we'd be so racist. Look at what they're doing to the Congo. They have a monopoly on cobalt. How does the Chinese get a monopoly on cobalt? Well, because they're the ones that go, and of course through the Belt and Road, they give the predatory loans that these African countries can't pay back, and then they get access to all their cobalt. How do they have all the cobalt? Oh, it's because it's basically a modern form of colonization. But no, they're Asian, so they're allowed to do it. How we compete with China is import as many. You're right, it's a fucking psyop. Competing with China is a psyop. There's no competition with China. They have 4 times their population. Who cares? We have better overall life quality than the Chinese. I mean, what kind of a question is that? China has no environmental regulations either. Well, of course, they don't play by any of the Western rules, and they have rapid greenhouse gas expenditure. Their greenhouse gases are just going through the roof now. The West has leveled theirs off of this. China is 5,000 years old. Yeah, that's not true. I mean, it's you measure. China has fallen, and then they've rebuilt, and they've fallen, they've rebuilt. The modern China is not old. The 5,000 year thing is it's bullshit. Would you take the deal? I'm not taking that deal, bro, with the gay or the trans stuff. I'm not gonna take that. I don't know what that's a weird question. It's just like a troll question or something, I guess. I don't know. How do you even reproduce with that? Taiwan is older than modern China. No, I mean that's the China. You're right. The Chinese Civil War. I mean that's how Taiwan became into existence. The losers went to Taiwan, created their own country. No, you're right on that. It's bullshit. They say they're 5,000 years old and they're so much better than the United. They're like 10 years old. It's like they fucking collapse every like 100 years. All right, maybe not that fast, but. What's your opinion on Japan? Well, it's an honor society. It's very traditionalist. There's a lot of respect. They have massive issues though. China does. Their economy is in a horrible spot, and we have more real numbers on Japan, but they really are dealing with serious problems. You know, they have an even worse situation because their population is so small. I mean, look at their country. The land area is nothing, but their population is they're dealing with population collapse. The Japanese are. They're having to import these immigrants. It's not going well. It's a likely story. It's a likely story. They're dealing with none of these people want to have kids. They don't want to deal with it. You know, prices are too high. They're first world country issues. Then they bring in the immigrants, and it becomes a big issue. Well, who could have seen this coming? Well, I mean, they had such a strict immigration policy. They're starting to slowly bring immigrants in. They need workers. There's these first world countries. It's just not. It's not a good situation. Would you say that more of the illegals assimilated and waved the American flag and adhere to our values? Would more people be sympathetic and maybe let them stay? Well, I mean, at the core level, the fundamental problem is it's job competition and it's wage suppression. That's the issue. So whether they wave but why would they wave the American flag if they're illegals? I mean, I don't think I'd be upset. You know, it doesn't seem like something realistic from in terms of them being ultra patriotic. If they're coming in illegally. Illegally immigrating to the U.S. is challenging. It is very challenging. Any updates on Titanic 2? I don't think it's happening. I would like to see them try and build it and then maybe abandon it during construction. Just at least we could get something. Japan is at least one of the top 20 countries. It's very hard to compare countries because the population's so different. But yeah, Japan is definitely just I would say they're a top of the line country. Please explain the 180 by Trump on Ukraine. Well, I mean, I think at its core, there has to be significant NATO influence in Trump's ear. That has to be what it is at its core. Because I really can't see. I mean, we can sit here and say, well, it's actually more advantageous for Trump to back Ukraine to try and end the war faster because Putin's not threatened, and then Putin maybe will be threatened by the United States backing Ukraine, so he'll come to the negotiating table. But I think Trump had a really hardline stance against Ukraine, and that seems to have completely dissipated. So that may signal that there's a lot of NATO influence within Trump's ear at this point, what I would say. There seems to be a lot of influence, pro-NATO people that are telling Trump to back this. And because I understand why Trump would do it, even from a fundamental standpoint, but to me, it does seem like there's a serious difference in terms of Trump's tune. Just on a fundamental level of, we're not involved with this. This is a European issue. It doesn't matter if Russia takes over all of Ukraine. And now, obviously, with him in the White House, it does. Do you think America's already lost? You think Mexico used to be whiter too, and then the whites became a minority there? Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends where you live in America. I mean, there are some areas that really are not American anymore. And it's not even, it's first generation immigrants too. It's not even like, it's people that just got here. That's how many immigrants are coming. We've taken in 40 million more immigrants than the second closest country in the past half century. You're going to deal with a lot of this stuff. I mean, this is people, it's like gaslighting when they say we're racist. And we've taken in like 50 million more immigrants than the next closest country. What are we talking about here, man? It's like remarkable. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, this is crazy. So I had to look it up. I think Trump came to the conclusion that Putin had been BSing him and took it personally, thus the immediate switch. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. But it's like, even if Putin had been but like, even to listen about that, Trump could have just came in and said, we're not interested in Europe in general. We're not interested in that war. We're not funding it. It's not our war. Obviously he didn't do that. He was involved immediately. He wants to be involved. There was a thought that he would end it, but it's like, if it's not going to be ended, I mean, just leave the situation. I understand what Trump is doing, but birth rates would climb again if Gen Z finally gets money. Well, it's like the housing. It's cost of living has to go down. It's more so cost of living than people getting money. Bring the cost of living down, the money is goes a long way. Raising a kid in the U.S. costs 150K, 250K, depending on where you live. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's gonna, it even cost a lot 20, 30 years ago. Now it's gonna cost even more. Should you marry your illegal friend if she's hot? Well, you can take the chance that she could be deported. Maybe you can move to Mexico with her. Will the NFL change halftime if they get enough pushback? What do you mean change halftime? They're not going to change halftime. They should change the kickoff. I'll say that they should change the kickoff back to how it is in college. You think Gen Z is more interested in raising children than millennials? Yeah, I do as well. And I think the statistics bear that out, or at least some of the opinion polls bear that out. I know people that move to Mexico, you know, you see it sometimes. It's rare, you know, just because, but there are at least a few cities in Mexico. A lot of these people, you know, they have limited amount of money in the United States. The money goes, in terms of like the scale of money in Mexico, American money goes so far. Just a normal salary, it's pretty insane. But yeah, it's just like you can't do that. That's like the passport bros and stuff. It's not worth it, man. It's just not. Was the church arsonist a MAGA guy? If so, what are his motives? Now, to be fair, I don't believe he was a MAGA guy. I don't believe so. It's based on anti-Mormon religious rhetoric. Said they were the Antichrist or something, I believe. Mexicans hate American and Mexican. Yeah, but it just depends. If you're in like an upper class city, it's a smaller city. It's a little bit different, I would imagine. You know. I mean, you go to Mexico City, 100% Mexicans will hate Americans there. But that's Mexico City. That's like their biggest city, or Monterrey. Lots of U.S. retiree communities in Mexico. Yeah, they try and take advantage of just the difference of scale of money. That's what it is. Dangerous to visit. Mexico. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Mexico even on vacation. I went to Mexico when I was young, but that was when I was like 2013, 2012, maybe like 2012 to Cancun, Mexico. Yeah, I think that was an AI or something, probably. That sign or whatever, the Stop Trump sign. Remember when Ted Cruz went to Cancun? I hope he had a nice time in Cancun. Most over embellished trip to Cancun ever. Ted Cruz went to Cancun. It was cold in fucking Texas, bro. What do you want him to do? He wants to get a tan. White boy summer. What are we talking about here? Otani bet on baseball. Yeah, and then the interpreter had to take it. Remember that? The interpreter went to jail. Stop Trump sign was real. It's from Google Street. But the stop sign is just in front of the Trump sign, and it's a shitty pic. Oh, wow. So it's confirmed. So the stop and then the Trump. Oh, so it is confirmed he was anti-Trump. Okay. Thank you for that. Wow, another one. I'm not surprised. You heard the former Mexican president before Scheinbaum bought a lakeside mansion in Lake Tahoe after he left office. Hmm. I feel like if you aren't practicing the religion for the country that you want to run for, you shouldn't be allowed to run. Scheinbaum in Mexico, she's not Catholic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Scheinbaum won. I guess it's a cartel manipulation. I don't know, man. But they said she was gonna win either way because, so it seems insane that she would win a fucking Mexican federal election. Scheinbaum, like what in the fuck is going on there? That's got to be corruption to the 10th level, to the 10th degree. Thoughts on Scheinbaum as a Mexican name? Seems legitimate. Doesn't matter the guy is MAGA, though. It was a religious hate crime. It's hate crime against, yeah, Mormons, I guess. Everything is going up in New York City. Zoran free buses. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Alright, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. Alright, guys, I'll see you.